Sup snakes! In today's video, I'm going to be finally doing the vlog on meeting Todd Howard, the Xbox Games Showcase, and Starfield Direct. Just what the day is like, so consider this a vlog. This event meant so much to me as a longtime, obviously, Bethesda and Fallout obsessed fan, and I felt like I really needed to process my emotions before making this video because this had such a meaningful impact for me as a creator and as a fan. And I think I'm finally ready to talk about it because it was a lot to process. But if you are an enjoyer of all things Bethesda, Fallout, if you want to know what one of these Xbox/Bethesda events is actually like, how it's ran, what it's like in person, this is the video for you. Or if you just want to support me and my channel, this is also the video for you. So thank you so much for watching. And without further ado, let's get into it. So I get to this event and I am very nervous. I'm excited. I'm nervous. And I notice a very long line of people and I'm like, I don't think this is where we're supposed to go. So I go and I find the other area where people are queuing. Fortunately, I had printed out the email that Cami, my contact at Bethesda, I will formally thank her later in the video, don't you worry, had sent to me. And I was like, this is where we're supposed to go. The guest and media check-in. I then grab my husband, run to grab him, and I hear my name screamed from a person. And I turn around and it's Mikey, my friend at Obsidian. So lots of friends, lots of cool gaming people at this event, obviously. And I say very briefly hello to Mikey. Mikey, we already chatted about this, but let's talk more at the next event we're at together because that was so brief. I then run because I have to grab Charlie and get him to the right area, and we go up and we give our IDs and we give our names, and they say, here's your banner, here's your card, whatever, this lanyard, there you go, and it says media, and I was like, I'm media? And the lady was like, yeah. I didn't know what I was going to be until I checked in because Cami had got me the ability to go to this event, and I wasn't sure, was I media, was I special guest, what was I, and media. What a cool feeling, honestly. I got this, and this was the beginning of noticing the quality that everything at this event was the lanyard. Nice, laminated, very well done lanyard. Double-sided Starfield Direct and Xbox Games Showcase, which I thought was pretty cool. And of course, a beautiful, colorful lanyard up top. I did put the other one in my shadow box about the event, which I made afterwards because I was like, I had a photo of me and Todd in a frame, and I was like, no, this deserves its own whole thing because, like I've said, this experience means the world to me. So after we get these, my husband and I go through a security checkpoint, which was great. The security at the event was fantastic. I felt very safe the entire time I was at the event. I felt very both safe and positive the whole time I was at the event. Everything about the way it was put on by Microsoft, the way Xbox did everything, everybody, all the staff, all the cater waiters even were very nice. Everybody at the event who was running the event and doing all of the things to make it run smoothly did it excellently. There was virtually no hiccups. And when I say virtually, I mean, I didn't notice any hiccups. Maybe there were on the back end. So all the people working on the back end, everybody, y'all crushed it because I, as someone attending the event, noticed nothing negative about it. So we go through security and then we go up in an elevator to the special guest / media area, which was separate from the fans that were attending the fan fest part of it. So we get up there and we kind of absorb the scene. My husband and I then take a picture. There is so much branding in this patio. It was not a room, it was a patio. And this wasn't even an area to take a picture. They had an area with better lighting to take a picture, which comes into play later. And we got this picture, and then I proceed to start taking B-roll and just gathering video, all that of the event. And my husband grabs a veggie burrito and chills because they have couches everywhere to sit with branded pillows and stuff like that, which was really cool as well. I then start to take some B-roll just because I wanted to capture what the room looked like. They had tables for people to work on social media and article writing and all that. And then of course the building they used to paint for E3 was there. The woman just there with the tassels, I met her. She was very nice. Her name was Emily. She met Todd at the same time as me. Everybody at this event, super duper nice. All the people, all these three here, and I talked to each of them. They were very kind. I was very nervous. This was my first event, and I was like, hi, how's it going? And they were so sweet to me because I was nervous, and there were media people from like news organizations and other things like that. And I had never attended an event like this. I'd gone to like one Bethesda after party with Nywall when he was in LA, just because I was visiting him. And he was like, come on out. So this was my first like official event, and so cool. I then take this little picture. I'm clever. There's a trash can behind my little plaque. And I was covering up my media thing, and I was like so proud of myself. I'm then proceeding to take videos and pictures of the event, and I notice standing here taking a picture at the area. You could see him in this picture, Todd Howard, as I'm just like taking B-roll and taking pictures of the event. And I sat there and my jaw dropped. I was like, I was just getting B-roll and Todd Howard's in the B-roll? What? And I was very excited. He was taking a picture with like Pete Hines and some other people in front of the like Xbox Starfield like picture area. And I sat there like, and I poked my husband and I was like, it's Todd Howard and Pete Hines. I was very excited and nerding out. Obviously, like someone who I've looked up to as like a creator of my favorite video games. And I'll talk more about like what this meant to me at the end of the video, but this was where the utter unabashed excitement started. I literally had my jaw dropped, and there's like an Xbox higher up sitting next to us like, fangirl over here. So this is actually like when I noticed him. I was like right before I was taking pictures, and then I was taking B-roll, and that's when I noticed him. And I also noticed Cami, my contact at Bethesda, and she was standing over there. I hadn't said hi to her yet. I knew I needed to say hi to her. I wanted to like make sure I thanked her for the event. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to see her afterward, which I did. I'll talk more about that later. And I went up to her, and the woman, Emily, who I'd shown earlier with like the tassels, was also standing there chit-chatting with Cami. They obviously all knew each other, and I would just said hi to Cami. I gave her a hug. I said thank you. And she pulls Todd Howard aside to talk to us. Cami, you're a real one. Thank you. These are little finger hearts. And she pulls him aside. He talks to Emily first and says it just works about her like Starfield themed outfit. I tried to do a themed outfit, but I'm not a fashionista by any sense of the word. So I had like a star and moon button down top, and then this woman went all out. She had like the like tassely cowboy outfit, and she had like space boot themed, and then she had the whole makeup down, and she was on point. I should have had these nails done before the event. And she said hi to Todd, and Todd looked at her outfit and was like, he didn't say it just works. He said it works. It works is what he said. And I was like, and I made a point of telling her afterwards that Todd had said that, because I think she was a little nervous too, and she hadn't fully perceived it. And she was like, I didn't even notice that. My heart was racing. So like, I wasn't the only one who was nervous, which made me feel better. And after Todd took a picture with her, I looked at Todd and I said, Todd, can I take a picture with you too? And he looked at me and said, of course, that's why I'm here. And I was like, he's so nice. And then we took our picture. So you'll notice in a lot of these pictures that Todd is like talking with his hands. He's got like fingers and hands up. Same, Todd, same. I talk with my hands too, but that's because he's actually explaining to me that he saw my hat. I'm wearing a Tunnel Snakes hat, and he clocked into it, and he started to explain to me that anything that they work on or that they're involved with on his specific team, I believe what he was saying was they call themselves Tunnel Snakes, which is funny because the night before I had heard somebody be like, hey, do you work for Bethesda? And I was like, no, I don't work for Bethesda. I'm just like a content creator, you know? And they were like, oh, well, you're wearing the Tunnel Snakes hat, and that's what they call themselves on that particular team. So it was interesting that like he was saying this thing I had just heard like literally the night before, because I was like ready to hear it and I understood what he was saying. So in all of these pictures, he's explaining to me this, and that's why his hands are up and he's like making gestures and stuff like that, which I thought was so cool, because I was like, after the fact, I was like, oh my gosh, that's how I talk. I'm a hand communicator. And he was doing the exact same thing. And him being so kind and just sweet here meant the world to me, because like to me, you know, Todd is a celebrity. Like he's famous. And to have this interaction with him that was so positive and kind, and like I'm sure he could, maybe he couldn't, I don't know, maybe I hit it better. I'm not normally a nervous or like anxiety prone person in that I can't have conversations with strangers. I do okay with strangers, but like, and I was before the event, I was chatting with other people, everyone was very nice, but like to see Todd, who is a celebrity, who is a developer of games that I absolutely adore, I was nervous, and I don't know if I said my name or if I said, like, I don't know what I said. Todd, if you see this, my name's Nikki. It's nice to meet you. This interaction meant the absolute world to me. This was such a like cool experience, and um I'll get more into that in a little bit later, but it was so cool to meet him. He was so kind. How he nerded out over my hat, and he really put me at ease. Even though I was still nervous, like he dropped that anxiety a little bit for me, and he was so gracious and so kind and not rude or not anything. You know, you hear things about famous people and it's like they aren't what you expect, and Todd was the exact opposite of that. Todd was exactly what I expected, which was like an excited nerd who loves video games, who is just so kind and cool, and it was such a positive interaction with me. And I loved this particular picture because Todd's explaining, he's in the middle of explaining tunnel snakes to me, and I'm making eye contact. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm making eye contact with Cami, my contact at Bethesda, who's taking the pictures, and she took a lot. Thank you, Cami, for taking so many. And I am just looking at her and I'm smiling because this is such a cool experience for me. It's such like a once in a lifetime experience for me that meant so much to me. And I'm looking at Cami like, is this happening? Todd's explaining tunnel snakes to me. Like my whole like account is tunnel snakes, right? So I wish I could articulate exactly what this interaction meant to me, and I plan to hopefully try and send a note to Bethesda, and I don't know if Todd will see it or not, but I would love for him to see it because this experience was so special to me. And I know I know people are going to be like, oh, you're such a Bethesda stan. Of course I am. I'm a Bethesda related account, and Bethesda means a lot to me. And when I was sick in the hospital with cancer and I was posting Fallout content, and then afterwards when I got out, and it took me 6 months to fully recover, and then I'm still recovering mentally years later, making content around this video game that I'm passionate about, this company that I'm passionate about, got me through. I don't think I would have gotten through if I didn't have that outlet and didn't have that community, because obviously I was sick during like the height of the pandemic and all that, so it was very isolating. And then to have this moment where I go and I get to meet my idol and attend this event and like have such a positive interaction with him, it was so deeply meaningful to me, and I will cherish that interaction for like the rest of my life, not the rest of my life, because it just, and I said this to Cami later on, it was a full circle moment. So not to get gushy, but I'm getting a little gushy because this did mean a lot to me and it was really cool. And of course, him being nice was just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. It was so cool. He is such a nice guy. Thank you, Todd, for being so sweet and just having a nice conversation with me. I'm very nervous. So of course, then we got like the normal picture where we're both like posing, whatever. I had my hands in my pockets because I was like, I don't want to like, he's a stranger, I'm not gonna put my hands around him or anything like that. And he had his hand in his pocket, which I thought was cute. And like, yeah, I really love how these pictures came out. Obviously, I made a shadow box out of that interaction as well as the event itself, just because it was really special to me. So afterwards, Todd goes off and he's drinking a cup of coffee. He's getting ready for the event. So this was kind of a surprise that Todd was going to be at the event. Like, I don't think we all necessarily knew this for sure. I certainly didn't. I'm sure people who like were like part of the event knew, but I certainly didn't. So this was exciting. And I knew going into the theater that the fans who were outside of the media area straight up would not know. And of course, all of them would recognize Todd, So we then get into the theater, and it is a beautiful, amazing theater. They had little like points of light, stars shining, and everyone getting in there was, just excited to be in the room. And they had an area reserved for media. that was kind of like centered down. And behind us was fans, and ahead of us was, I think, like a lot of like developers and other special guests, but I think it was mostly like developers, people who work at Xbox, all that. We then sit, and I'm sitting next to someone from The Guardian. My husband's sitting next to someone from overseas, and we kind of wait for the event. It's very like beautifully lit, the little points of light, the lasers shining into the crowd. They have screens in case you're far away and you can't see the main screen, which was great as well. My husband then took this video, which I thought was going to be a picture, and I was like, oh, okay. So then Phil Spencer comes out. That was a bit of a surprise, and someone in the crowd called him the other Uncle Phil, which I thought was hilarious and adorable. Obviously a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reference. He did a little speech beforehand. That was a shock to the crowd. And of course, like, the fans are what's behind me. So we were in like the last row of media, all fans behind us. They were so excited. They were so pumped to be there, which was really cool. The energy was fantastic. We then watched the entire event. This is an accidental candid I took of myself. And I just think it's funny because this really captures, see, I tried to do my makeup. This really captures my excitement of just being there in the crowd. I'm like absolutely giddy. And of course you can see my hat up close. And throughout the event, every time they announced world premiere, every time they just showed the like visuals of everything, the audience just shook, and like the excitement was so palpable, which I think is something that's so different from experiencing it like on Twitter or live streaming or watching your favorite YouTuber or whomever watch the event and like comment on it. This was just pure like honest reaction from a crowd, which was such a cool experience. Like, it's so different to have that experience and hear the crowd and just to feel that joy and everything. So I loved feeling it, and I loved, like, it was so palpable, the joy in that room. And of course, you know, we got to see the same showcase that everyone else did. There's Phil. He was sweet. He was like, I never prepare for these things to speak. And that got a big laugh as well. So then it transitions to the Starfield announcement. I thought the transition was really cool, which is why I'm showing the video of it. Just the lasers and the lighting, and it had another countdown because there was a countdown in the beginning as well. And that whole showcase was amazing. People were like, this is one game with all of these features? What? And when the event ended, I shared this video where you can hear what they're saying, but this is when we got the reveal. Todd Howard, Pete Hines, all these other like Xbox and very important people walk out, and people are like, they're here. People were screaming, we love you, Todd, all that stuff. So I had obviously known this was going to happen because, you know, I saw Todd in the back room. We already had a conversation, but I knew that they were going to walk out, and it was going to be a big reveal for all the fans behind me who weren't in the media room experiencing this for like the first time. So I made sure to get like a video of the whole thing. I have not found a video of it anywhere other than the video I took, which is obviously, you know, me screaming as well in it. But if you want to check out what they said, I thought what they said was really sweet. They talked about the struggles that Xbox has had this year. They talked about how they're moving forward and how they appreciate the fans so much. And I just thought that what they said meant a lot. Obviously, Todd and Pete focus more on like Bethesda, whereas the other two Xbox employees focus more on Xbox itself. And I just thought it was really like honest, and I really appreciated that. Obviously, you know, the direct itself is scripted and it's pre-recorded and all that, but this was such an honest and like cool little extra that we got to experience as being at this event, and I thought it was really cool. Also, the fan reaction was excellent. Then afterwards, we got spat back out into the media area, and I found food and drink, and I scarfed that stuff down so quickly. I was so hungry, I forgot to eat anything or drink anything before the event itself. And I ate like 2 cookies immediately and then grabbed some pasta salad. I was so hungry, guys. After which I made a point of finding Cami again. I had seen her. She was working hard. She was working. She's, you know, this is her job. She was working. And I made sure to walk up to her, and Cami, we should have got a picture together. Next event, can we please get a picture together? That would be awesome. I think just my excitement, I forgot to ask for a picture with her as well. I talked to Cami, I went up to her, and then I brought back my husband later on, and he went up to her as well. And I just, you know, I told her essentially what I said earlier about like meeting Todd, and she was like, she was fangirling for me. She was so excited that I was able to, you know, meet Todd. And she was like, wow, the stars really aligned for, like, we were both like, wow, the stars really aligned for that one. Get it? Starfield. But she was so excited for me and she was really happy for me. And I made a point and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to gush. I felt like there was a weird part of me that was like, oh, I'm supposed to be like, oh, this is no big deal. I do this all the time because I'm a creator, right? And I felt like in at this whole event, I didn't have to like perform at all, necessarily, where I'm like, no, this doesn't happen for me all the time, and this does mean a lot to me. And being here with everyone meant so much to me. I'm not gonna lie, like this was a big deal for me, and it meant so much to me. And I went up to Cami, obviously, and I just told her like this was a full circle moment for me. Like I'm probably gonna cry on the drive home. Like this meant so much to me, and I'm so grateful that you made this happen. And I'm also grateful that you pulled Todd aside, and she really facilitated that interaction between me and Todd. Like that, I don't think that would have happened without Cami. Like maybe I would have gotten the confidence to do it, but she pulled him out of. He was in a group of multiple people, and she pulled him aside, and she facilitated all of that, and it meant so much to me. And I just expressed that to her, and I also expressed to her, I was like, this event is so well done. The visuals of the event, obviously the production itself of the showcase, and just how kind everyone who was working the event, all of the Xbox staff that were there. A lot of the Xbox staff were like special guests. That's what they had on their tags, or it said Xbox. So even people at like Obsidian and Bethesda, whatever, most of their tags said Xbox or special guest. Todd said special guest, which I thought was interesting. Just all of those people, I told her, I was like, everyone did such a good job. And after like speaking with Cami, I was going up to like people and I was like, thank you so much. I think every person I saw working the event, I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm saying thank you to the cater waiters, like the people like just delivering food. And they're like, yeah, I mean, this is my job. But everyone's attitude was so positive working the event, and so cool and so nice. And it was such a cool experience. And Cami, this was an amazing experience, and it meant so much to me. I know I told you this in person, but to reiterate, thank you, because truly a wonderful, and from the bottom of my heart, this meant the world to me, and I'm so grateful that you made that happen, along with everyone else who worked the event and put it on, and all the developers, everybody. But thank you for giving me this opportunity. It meant the world to me. Seriously, it meant the world to me. And I afterwards, after talking with Cami, she met my husband as well. She commented on his name. My husband has a very interesting name. I don't want to like say it publicly, but she was like, wow, that's a cool name, basically. I talked with her for a little bit, and I just told her, I was like, I'm sorry to interrupt you while working, but thank you. After that, my husband and I explored the event a little bit, explored a little bit of FanFest, which was pretty cool. This is what it looked like underneath for most of it. They had all these different attractions, all these different things. I was exhausted. This was like kind of the area you could see to the stage from underneath, which was pretty cool. They had all these displays with like Starfield stuff in it, and the new Xbox they announced, and I got this coffee. Also, I know I already said this. Everyone working the event, the vendors they had for this event were fantastic. The food, the drink, everything was, it was so good. It was so good. And I got an almond vanilla latte. I hadn't had coffee yet that day. I think this was the only liquid I drank at the event, which was probably not good. I should have had some water. But this was so good. They were like, you could print whatever. They had a couple logos that you could do. And of course, I chose Bethesda because, yeah, that's the reason I was there. Cami works at Bethesda, so yeah. And then I got to see the controller, which obviously I bought the controller because I saw it in person. I was like, I need this controller. I didn't get the headset. As I've said, big head. Can't handle it. And then I got to see the new Xbox. They had these displays, which I thought was pretty cool. They had you can see an Xbox that people are signing behind it. The lines were pretty long to wait to do all of this. If I had gotten more sleep and like hadn't been so emotionally exhausted, I think I would have done all of this stuff, but I was so tired, guys. So my husband and I kind of walked around and we were like, okay, time to go. We took some pictures outside at the Xbox. We got these bags, which were pretty cool. And then they also gave us another bag that they were giving to fans. And I was like, hey, I know we're not like fans at FanFest, but could we have one? And they were like, sure, of course. You know, everyone at the event was so sweet. And then we drove the 2 hours home, and I went to bed that night knowing a moment that I've literally had dreams about happened and was real and meant so much to me and was so cool, and just being there in person was awesome. And I gotta say, they did a really good job. So that's it. That's the showcase. That's how it went down. It was such a cool experience. Thank you so, so much, as I have said, but I'm going to say it again, to Cami, to Bethesda, to Xbox, to Todd Howard for taking the time to talk to me, to everybody who put their work into the event, to everybody who worked the event, to all of the staff at the event, to the cater waiters. Literally everybody at the event was kind and cool and so sweet. And to everybody who came up to me in the media area and talked to me, because either they saw my post on Twitter with Todd, which was funny. I was like, oh, I'm a micro celebrity right now. Thank you for being sweet to me, and everybody for being nice to me at the event, because I was nervous. And while I had my husband there, I felt like nervous. I didn't have any of my creator friends who are used to going to events like this or anything like that. So, yeah, thank you for everything. Again, thank you to Cami for also giving me a +1. That was amazing. That's it. That's the event, guys. I know I talked for a long time. I appreciate you tuning in. This was my honest experience, and it truly was once in a lifetime. I hope not once in a lifetime, but if it it really was something I wasn't expecting. Especially meeting Todd, just that added such a layer of amazingness to it, and it really did mean the world to me. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it thus far, I appreciate you, and have a safe and wonderful day in the wasteland, my kitties. I'll catch you in the next video.